Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. It's been 2, maybe 3 years. I have to go back and look since I've actually been able to bring some content to you. Life has been lifing. Hell, life is still lifing. But I feel like it's the right time to spark not new conversations, but more conversations concerning our ideologies, our theologies, our religious beliefs, and the way we use those things to interact in the world and with people, the way that it affects our decision making. Those things need to be challenged. Um, why do you believe what you believe? Do you ever sit down with your belief system based on what the belief system is, not what the programming about the belief system is, but based on what the belief system is? Why do you believe what you believe? And does what you claim to believe actually match up with the belief system? Does your day to day actions match up with what the belief system says you should be doing? And if you take an honest look at it, many of you will be able to say, no, it doesn't. So why do you believe what you believe? We live in a time where it seems like everything goes, but as long as I go to church, I'm straight. Just the other day, I was coming out the ABC store and I saw a minister going into the ABC store. And just so I wasn't tripping, I was already in the parking lot. I turned around just to make sure I wasn't tripping, and the door that I saw them going through was really the door I saw them going through. And sure enough, they went into the ABC store. Now, unless they were going in there and had church service or had something set up to preach a message or minister, then what they came out with wasn't an offering. So why do you believe what you believe? Now, that's just one person. But just look at your surroundings. So many of the things that we do, we've made acceptable. But based on the belief system, you're wrong. So many of our perceptions about what being righteous is or what God's favor is completely wrong. A lot of times people equate material possessions, success in a particular industry or career, with God's favor and blessings, with Jesus looking out for them. But if you really go back and study and look at who Jesus was a homeless nigga. There's not one story in the Bible where Jesus said, hey, look, y'all, swing on by the crib. We're going to have prayer meeting. It's going to be some food there. We're going to have some fishes. I got more than 5 loaves. I got 10 loaves this time, baby. I got a whole bucket of fish. Peter and them went out there fishing. We got fish, come by the crib. We're going to lay on some hands. We're going to do all of that. You never heard about Jesus at the crib. You never heard any stories about Jesus going to the market and say, yo, let me get some of them tomatoes. Let me get some of them tomatoes. You got some limes over there, some cilantro. Give me some avocados, some pico de gallo, all that. I'm going to make me some guacamole. You ain't never heard Jesus do that. You never heard Jesus talk about his attire. He wasn't walking around in Balenciagas and all the fashionable things. He didn't have on the fresh, tight Tom Ford suits with the Tom Ford colognes and, he wasn't that. But somehow in our programming, we've began to equate material possessions and success as godly blessings and righteousness. We begin to equate titles with God's favor and success. But if you study who Jesus was, he hated you. He didn't like the religious people. This is what really blows my mind. So many of you proudly claim to be religious. But if you study your Bible, Jesus did not like you. The Pharisees and the Sadducees, the ones that stood open and they knew the word by mouth. They knew the scriptures. They knew the old, what we consider the Old Testament scriptures now. They knew this stuff. They knew all the standards and how you're supposed to look and carry yourself. They knew the visual things to do to make it sound and look like they were righteous. And they looked down at anybody that didn't do it the way that they do it. Does that sound like anybody y'all know? You ever been judged for not being like them? You ever been looked down on for not having what they have? And knowing that the only reason that they're looking at you is because they think they're more blessed by God than you. Y'all say favor ain't fair, right? That's what you say. There's a popular saying. All of you, all of us that said it. Even when I was there, I used to say that silly mess. Favor ain't fair. So that means God like you more than he like me. Because that's in essentially what you're saying. Or God like me more than he like you. If that's the case, I don't want to fuck with that type of God. Because if you poor and I got some, why he ain't looking out for you? Or why he not putting me in a position to help you? But instead, we'll take that and I'll look at that person. Well, if they won't doing such and such, they'll probably have such and such. Or if they just came to church more, they'll probably have such and such. How arrogant of you to believe that your church attendance alone, your community of people that you gather with that claim to believe the same thing you do, and your little hints of success here and there that anybody can get if they apply themselves, puts you in a better position than it puts anybody else. If you study statistics, many times the higher people go up in income or the higher they go up in their field, the higher they go up, the further they get away from religion because they're exposed to more. And they realize that the things that they held on to religion for no longer exist. You feel where I'm coming from? Many times, the things that we're praying about can be fixed by money. Outside of family issues, situation with a friend, something like that. But many times the things that we're praying about and seeking God for and falling on our face for and getting up feeling, thinking we feel refreshed for and all of that, all we need is some money. You run across a quick 100,000 there, you're going to thank God for, but I bet it eliminates some of the stuff you've been praying for. If you've been spending the last however long, 6 days or 6 years praying for, Lord, help me pay these bills. Lord, I want to put my child through college. Lord, my car breaking down. Lord, one of my shoes got half the sole coming out. God, I got holes in my socks. I got holes in my drillers. One of my bras got one titty out. Get you some money. I bet your whole prayer life changed. And work with me. The lighting on my thing might be flickering or something, but it's my first time back in a minute. We're going to get that right. So then you begin to have to find new things to pray for. And as I said, outside of things, maybe health issues that you can't directly fix, or issues with family or friends that you can't directly fix, you'll still be in a better situation than if you ain't had no money. On the back of the dollar bill, what it say? In God we trust. Now our programming makes us believe some boogie woogie man in the sky is what we talking about. But money solves everything. So we look to money before we look to God. We call to God, but if some money show up, it was nice, God. That was cool. Thank you. Now let me go do what I need to do with this money. And if we can get to the point where we can keep some money, yeah, we're going to say all the God is good, but that's when we translate over and start looking at people as if we just a little bit better. And you might unconsciously think that. You might not even know that that's how it's coming across to people. But it's someone that grew up Church of God in Christ. My father, whole side of his family, super duper Church of God in Christ. My mama family was in church, but some of them cussed, smoked, and drank sometime, at least in the open. And I love that about them because they real people. Not saying my daddy's side won't, but it was just two different variables. Two different variables I got to see growing up. So I know what it is to come from a mentality where everybody around me, close to me, is experiencing life in a certain way. So you're led to believe that somebody outside of this is doing something wrong. And it's only once I got older I began to understand, oh, some of y'all just as fucked up, but you had it behind this Jesus stuff. I got certain ones now, and I'm not here to bash anyone, but I got certain people now that I refuse to talk to until they come to me with a conversation because of things they said about me in their religious arrogance. And I refuse to be the one to go back to them and make something right when I didn't make it wrong. And I hope some way they come across this because they know who I'm talking about. I refuse to be the one to go back to you to make something right when I did nothing wrong. So I don't even know how to approach that conversation. What I was supposed to say, man, my bad for you because of your religious ignorance that you judged me a certain way without having a conversation with me. And when I attempted to have a conversation, you acted like you didn't know how to hold a conversation. And I'm using a personal example, but this is not an isolated incident. Because I know how y'all do. He up there venting and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I'm going to do some of that too. Your mama. Yeah. Like I say, because I come from this, so I'm able to use personal examples. But some of you have had situations, family, close friends, or whatever, have access to you, but instead of reaching out to you, they reach around you and then judge you and then expect you the one, or people expect you the one to be the one to come around and get it right when you did nothing wrong except be yourself. See, there's nothing wrong with stepping out and saying, I'm not a Christian. And I know that bothers some people. Somebody, because see, I know some of y'all church folks watch this too. At least y'all were when I was shooting before, because people would come back and tell me, you know, such and such was watching this. You know, such and such seen this. So let me say it again. There's absolutely nothing wrong with telling people, no, I'm not a Christian. See, because and here's the thing. When a person says they're not a Christian, then y'all are offended, but you feel slightly better if they can say they're a Muslim. Because at least they still believe in, you know, what's the Marvel is like Professor X and Magneto or something like that. I guess I got that right. It's like opposite sides of the same coin. So you're upset that I'm not a Christian, but you can believe in Allah. You can believe, you know, Allah Akbar and all that stuff. You can do that. At least you're still close. Now, mind you, if I was religious, which I'm not, I don't follow any religion. If I were to go back, which I'm not, I would be a part of, I would study Islam. Because I've seen more of them live more genuinely to what they claim to believe than I've seen Christians do. Also, they know the Bible. Very few Christians I know the Quran. So it's like, why am I going to be a part of a religion that doesn't study anything else when I can at least go be a part of one that studies the one that talks bad about them the most? If y'all going to talk crazy about me, at least let me know something about you so that when you come at me, I have something to throw back at you and we can have a conversation. You know. Why do you believe what you believe? Is it out of fear? Is it because that's just how grandma did it? That's because how mama did it, how daddy did it? It didn't work for them. Very few of us have parents, grandparents, great grandparents that passed away in a state of enlightenment, or based on what I said earlier, based on a level of success or material possessions, that based on that visual was said that what they believed worked. Because a lot of them died broke. At least not rich. They may not have died broke, but they didn't die with all of these things that they claim they could have for believing. So why do you believe? Is because you prayed for a job and you got it? Or because you put the application in for the job and you got it? Why do you believe what you believe? Is because you went to the hospital and got well and thanked God for it? Or is it because the doctors and the nurses did their job and helped you get better? Why do you believe what you believe? Do you believe what you believe because you finally got a nice car? You have the car you've been wanting. Or is it because you worked really hard, got your credit straight, got your money right, and you was able to walk on the lot, no money down, and get the car you wanted? See, there are actual actionable things connected to these things that we mysteriously and God gave it to me type of situation get. We actually play a part in our own success or failure. So when the good things happen, we say God did it. When the bad things happen, we say the devil did it, which removes us from accountability from any of it. Let me say that again. When the good things happen, we say God did it. When the bad things happen, we say the devil did it, which means we have no accountability for anything. And that's why you're able to walk around still smoking, still drinking, still cussing, still fornicating, still sucking balls, still sucking titties, then going around running around the church like you lost your mind. Hey, God. I just be looking at y'all, man. Sometimes you'll see me, if you around me, you'll see me just laugh to myself because I just observe, man. I just observe. And I realize most people are wearing, I think all of us have to wear masks at certain times, so I'm not even going to try to put that down. But I don't think some of you know you're wearing a mask. You're not really being who you really are. You're being the version that you've only seen other people. You're just duplicating and replicating actions that you've seen, but that's not really you. You're only loving people because the Bible says I got to love you. Well, I tell anyone, if you got to love me because a book tell you to, then you don't love me. And I don't want that type of love because that's an obligatory love. You feel obligated because some book said it. I want the type of love that comes from your heart that you couldn't stop if you wanted to. Because that's the type of love I have for people. That's the type of passion I have toward the people that I love. You can't stop this and ain't no book got to tell me to do it. And here's the thing. If I don't like you or don't love you, then I don't. I'm not going to be guilted into, well, the Bible says I got to love them. No, the fuck, no. Some people have violated. I ain't talking about nothing sexual. But there's some people that have violated in life. And no, I don't love them. You crazy? I don't hold no beef, no grudge. When I see them, I speak. But I don't love you. I don't care about what happens to you. That might come across harsh, but that's the reality because I'm not the only one that feels that way. But we put up these masks to make ourselves look better for people that can't do nothing for us anyway. If there's this thing called salvation, we're doing it for people that can't save us anyway. So why do you believe what you believe? Why you fronting? You ain't got a lot to kick it. I get, I'm from a small town because this ain't just for E-Town. I've never done podcasts just for 6,000 people. I don't know. That's why when I was doing them, I had to stop doing, or some stuff didn't come out because people were talking just to employ. And I was trying to explain to them, yes, you can use some examples, but 9 times out of 10, the people that's watching this don't know you. the people that are going to watch this may not be from Emporia. So you have to speak about things in a way that they can relate to, even though they weren't there. Sometimes people ask me, okay, if you're not a Christian, you don't follow in a religion, so what are you? Are you an atheist? I might be. I don't know. I mean, agnostic, atheist, whatever. I leave open 1% that it might be, just because I don't have to. But even at this point, if he proved it, I'd be like, nigga, what took you to fuck so long? You see all this shit I done been through, nigga? All these time I done asked you and you ain't did shit. So it's cool you done showed up, but I don't need you now. I'm cool. I'm good. But jokes aside, all of y'all are atheists too. Just not against your own religion. But you don't believe in the gods of any other religion. And being an atheist is the lack of a belief in a God. You don't believe in the Muslim God. You don't believe in Buddhists, whatever they consider, their deity, any other deity. So to some degree, all of you are atheists, just not against your God. I just choose to reject your God too. Just based on what I see, based on what the book claims he's supposed to be, and based on what I see, some not adding up. And I'm just smart enough to question to be like, hey, nigga, you said if I call you, you would answer. I've been calling you since 1997. You ain't done shit. Now I'm kind of being silly now, because I know how people do. They'll take the jokey parts and try to turn that into some deeper, fuck you, I had some notes, right, but I couldn't, my internet tripping, so I couldn't pull my laptop up to have my notes. I couldn't pull my email up. So I kind of had to freestyle some of this, but I think I did all right. Why do you believe what you believe? And do you believe in it enough for it to be challenged? Last thing, when you say you believe something, you know that you leave open the option, or you acknowledging that what you're saying may not be true. I'll give you an example. Okay. Let's say I needed to know what a DMV was. Say I'm just in a town. I'm not saying our town, just a town. And I run up to you and I say, hey, yo, I'm trying to get to the DMV. Where is it? And you tell me, I believe it's over on the south side. Now, the DMV may be over east, but you said you believe it was on the south side. So no, you did not lie about that. You told me what you thought was true. But once you found out, oh, it's over east, you'll stop saying it's on the south side. You'll start going over east too, because it would be foolish for you to get the truth about a situation and continue to believe what you previously thought. Same thing applies to religion. It's okay to believe something. I'm not saying you're wrong to believe it, but once you are presented with verifiable information, because see, I'm not one that just talks from feelings. Feelings can be, I could be happy one minute, be sad the next, but the facts about a situation not gonna change. So if you're presented with verifiable information, you can be shown documents and timestamps and dates that verify that certain things happened prior to the biblical stories, then you would be a fool to continue to believe the biblical stories when you have verifiable information. But some of you will get that information, and this is where the cognitive dissonance kicks in. And somehow you begin to just revert back to, it's like fear kicks in, you just start reverting back to the programming, and you start quoting cliches, and for you know it, you almost ready to cuss the person out. But that, when you have a blessed day, I translate to when nigga fuck you. When you have a blessed day, you be blessed. Yeah, God gonna take care of you. That's nigga fuck you. I would kick your ass if I could. That's how it comes, because you know, y'all know I'm telling the truth. I ain't got no reason to lie about it. Got no reason to lie about it. So once again, and I'm gonna get ready to get off here. This is just my reintroduction. The next time I might get into more about why I've been gone. But the goal is to spark up these conversations again, because we've gone for too long just repeating cycles, expecting different results. Exactly what they say insanity is. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result. I didn't come here to just be a duplicate of my father. As much as I love him, I didn't come here to be him. As much as I might look like him, I'm named after him, smell like him, talk like him, move like him. I didn't come here to be him. I don't do anything as far as moving the culture forward, breaking cycles, providing newer information, a broader horizon, bigger perspective, if I come here and just be him. Now, me just being him might make him proud of me because it's a reflection of what you showed me. But I want my kids to go way further than me. I want them to go way further. Even if that's on the religious side. Be better at it. That's my thing. Be better at it. Be a better person for it. Be not more knowledgeable for it. I would hope they eventually would see certain things that I see, but if they don't, be the best person that you can within that. But that's what the problem is. Some of y'all just not good people. And you mask it and get to hide it behind saying you're a Christian, but you a piece of shit. But because you go to church, you give a lot, you're always involved, people credit you for being a good person. But face to face, you ain't shit. All right, y'all. Well, that's it. That's all I got for this time. Like I said, just wanted to get things back started, man. I'm going to have my notes and everything next time, and we're going to get deeper into certain topics and eventually get guests and stuff back on. But I just wanted to get things warmed back up, get back started, because it's been a long time. So I will see y'all again soon. Much love to you. Be real with yourself. Challenge things. Question yourself. And accept the answers. I'm out. Peace.